One thing I'm curious to see about this Pod 2.0 by Line 6 is how it sounds in a setup with your own cabinet. So I've got my Harley Benton cabinet hooked up there with my SM57 with my Harley Benton GPA 100 amplifier, so we get a nice dry signal running through. And I thought, let's see how that sounds miking up. So firstly, this is the sound that we've got. The last patch I did for a video about a month ago, I think. I'll give myself a little bit more volume. That's better. So yeah, it sounds much better compared to the last patch I was using for years, but I'm keen to hear how it sounds against my cabinet I've got, and because I'm still not 100% sold on the sound, so I instinctively want to reach for an enhancement pedal, whether it be a boost or some type of EQ to really try to shape it a little bit more. But we're not going to do that today. What we're going to do firstly is turn off the cab here, so not using the A.I.R Mode thing. I don't fully 100% understand yet how it works. But if we go here to the edit mode and hold that and turn it on to off, we should get a real rubbish sound. Sounds like rubbish. When you don't have that cabinet, I see it like a polish. I'm having a really bad stutter day, sorry. I feel it's like it's polishing the sound to give that last final coat and touch to make it look all nice and pretty. Or in this case, sound really pretty. But now it's time to put it in the Harley Benton. So let me start. If I mute you, turn on the mic, we unconnect you, and we plug you into the amp here, like so. And I have no idea how loud this is going to be, but we will find out. All right. The answer is loud. But we're getting good levels coming through, so I'm going to have some fun just playing real fucking loud in this room. Initial thoughts. It's fucking awesome. That is sounding, I don't know about a percentage I could put on it, but a bucket load more better compared to the cab simulator they've got just within the Pod 2.0. Now, it's about 24 years old, this Pod 2.0. So it is vintage gear, and I'm not like shitting on it or punching down. We've come a long way. But utilizing it as in within stuff that was available back then as well, like just putting it through this being like a stage power amp type of scenario, or like a in an effects loop in an amp to bypass all that just to give yourself a dry signal into your cab. This is what you get. I like it. So a few things like the noise gate, I don't know how to alter it on here other than pushing noise gate on and off. There is a way how you can get it into an editing system online, but I couldn't quite figure that out fully because this pod here doesn't have a USB, it's only got the MIDI. So dealing with the MIDI and an interface that actually works is a little bit of a challenge. There is a YouTuber that actually created a really awesome interface for it, but it's just a little bit out of my price range for these type of videos that I'm doing. But what they did was awesome. I'll leave their link in the description below, because if you're keen to check that out to learn more about the Pod 2.0, if you want to muck around with it more yourself, if you've got one, that's a great resource, what they've put together there. Yeah, but I'm really impressed by that. So let's quickly try the different amp mode things. It's got a direct and to an amp. At the moment, it's set on direct. So let's chuck it to amp. Not as good. It seems a little bit too shallow, the sound. We turn it back to direct mode. That seems a lot more fuller and more rounded off with its dynamics. Mucked up the note there, but that's okay. Yeah, that's sounding pretty solid from what I can hear in the room at the moment. So I don't know what it sounds like, how it's been captured. I have no idea, but hopefully it's good. But I'm going to find out right now. So what I'll do is I'll do 2 jams back to back. We'll do one capturing it with the SM57 and the other one with the Pod 2.0 internal cabinet simulator, or whatever they're called in there. I keep wanting to say IR, but it's not IR technology because it was before IR. But sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'll have a bit of a chat about it on the other side. And there is 2 very different approaches using the Pod 2.0 here, which is still rocking and still doing its thing, which is really cool. And I definitely felt running it through the Harley Benton GPA and the 2x12 cab that I've got, made a huge difference. That sounded amazing in the room, and hopefully it captured really good there and you could tell the difference in the jam and while it was isolated as well. I felt like it had a lot more life and a lot more aggression to it, which is what we want in our guitar tones. So thank you very much for joining me on this video. It's fun putting this together. Someone pointed out in the comments in the previous video on how to turn the cabs off properly and not just using the direct and amp mode setup here, which I totally forgot about. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, it's still really cool being able to use this and seeing how it can be utilized and still implemented. So if you had one of these, because my original thought for the video was, if you had one of these and you want to use it live or for a rehearsal with live acoustic drums, how could you do it with an amp setup? This is how you could do it, and this is how it sounds. And it sounds pretty fucking cool. I'll definitely admit. So it was very fun putting it together and doing. So thank you very much for joining me in this video. Definitely keen for more of your thoughts and ideas with the Pod 2.0 because it's a lot more popular than what I thought it was after the last couple of videos I've done. And I thought it was just kind of me holding on to nostalgia because it was my first bit of studio equipment that I really bought independently for my home studio. But no, there's a lot more love out there for it still. It's a bit of equipment that doesn't seem to really want to die, which is good, because I don't want it to either. So, once again, thank you very much for joining me, and I thoroughly look forward to chatting with you next time. And until then, stay safe.